Skadoosh. It's Joey Moss with Bad Boy Gaming. Thank you all for tuning in. We're talking some price spikes today. Some interesting cards going up in price. Some for no particular reason. But one of them, over a 1,300% gain. Let's start things off with Vampire's Vengeance, double feature. I can't really see a reason for this card going up at all. I want to assume maybe there was a recent buyout, but it did seem like this version spiked. Other recent versions have gone up as well, but keep in mind, from a 4-cent card that's just chilling in everyone's common box that we have a bunch of, going up only like 15 cents to around that quarter range. Other than just maybe some recent interest in vampire cards, I don't understand, because you go to the month, 33%, plus 60% on 3 months, minus 20%. Again, up 60% overall for the entire year. Let's talk Loyal Apprentice. This is the Surge Foil version from Universes Beyond, Fallout, and it's gone up 71%, and that is only in the last 6 months. That's a pretty huge price increase, but it gets crazier. In just the last 6 months, this version has gone up 200%. I have noticed quite a few decks that have been recently uploaded online. I went to history in the past week or two. A lot of people including this in their deck. But this is a growth over the period of 6 months. So perhaps the scarcity of the card and people realizing, hey, that would actually be a great inclusion in my build, in my brew. This one up 400%. It went from about 75 cents all the way up, sitting around $4 now. That's a huge jump, and that was in the course of 1 year. Craziness. The Fallout, biggest one here, 434% price hike within the past year, within the past 7 months. Within the past 7 months, it once was as low as 58 cents, now up to almost $5.50. That's a huge hike. So if anyone understands why Loyal Apprentice is jumping how crazily it is, I would love to hear it. I'm just thinking because it wasn't mass printed in, the bigger products out there. You had to get Fallout for example. Phyrexia All Will Be One. This is in the Commander, pre-cons. There are not a lot of versions of this card, and the ones that there are, they are very scarce. Now we're going to jump to some Lord of the Rings action. I want to say this is a buyout, maybe. This version, the Showcase Scrolls, Lord of the Rings, sitting at $2.90. That's a 152% jump in the last 6 months for the Showcase Scroll version. Now, if you look at the big chart, it's not much because the hype was real. Over a year ago, Lord of the Rings came out. You're looking at like 35%. Most recently, 100% increase. This card's doubled in price in the last 3 months. Something's caught. The 1 month chart, it just shot straight up. What is causing this one to just skyrocket? I want to say it's a buyout. We go to other versions of the card, Universes Beyond Lord of the Rings. This is just the extended or borderless version. Not really much going on. It actually dropped 21% in the past year. You shrink in the chart, 6 months, minus 13%. But most recently, only minus 6%, still losing value. This past month, this card has lost value the entire time. So I think it's just a buyout. The Showcase Scrolls kind of makes sense because Lord of the Rings, scarce prints, Now we're on to Storm. This card is another Tales of Middle-earth card. Showcase Scrolls, skyrocketing in price. Maybe not skyrocketing, but up 61%. Could have picked them up for like $3.50, now up to $5.60. That's a pretty nice spike. Here's another little surge in the past 6 months. Again, card went up. It's up 35%. We go to the full year, though, it's actually down 1%. So I think people are going around buying out these more scarce cards, from Lord of the Rings, especially this poster version, up 228% in the past 6 months. You go to the year, it's up 68%. Past few months, 42. This month, it's actually down 7%. So I don't know exactly what's causing this to spike. I'm assuming buyouts with some of these cards. Here's the crazy version, $1,250. Yeah, it did go up 78%. That's a big jump, if you ask me. But it's serial numbered. Not many people have this card. There's only 100 copies out there. So just scarcity driving up that card. Here's an interesting one. Headmaster, Universes Beyond. This is the only version you can find, the only version that exists of the Headmaster. And what's causing this? Equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Equipment abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. I remember saying this card was going to jump in price. Back when I was opening up these boxes of Assassin's Creed, I'm like, why is this card so cheap? It's jumped in the last month 511%. The 3-month chart, 442%. Captain America. Dude, you cannot be running this as your commander without running Headmaster. Over 500% in the last month. Once Captain America was announced, bada bing, this card really took off. So if you have copies of it, sweet. I would get rid of them now, though. I'd say, I mean, it's still going up, but I would get rid of your copies within the month. This card will be reprinted, and it probably will be reprinted within the next 6 months. Otherwise, this card's going sky high. Now we're on to another interesting one. One of the biggest gains, the biggest gain actually out of all the cards we're talking about today, up 361% for Warhammer 40K. Okay? What's causing this card to spike? I did some deep dive research on this, and I really couldn't find any good answer. Other than maybe people just enjoy this character from Warhammer. Maybe Warhammer's just become more popular overall. That could be a good reason. But a 361% spike over the past year. 6 months, 250%. It really climbed in the past 2 months. What is that? Why is this spiking so much? Scarcity is probably the biggest reason this card has jumped. 1,300% in 1 year for the Surge foil. This card was in people's like comment boxes. Priced over a year ago, sitting at 50 cents. Very, very common card. It's now $8.50 and still climbing upward. I can't find any other reason why this card has taken off like crazy. Token strategies, maybe. We do see a couple cards mentioned in this video that, have token strategies. I don't know what's going on with these cards. I got hey, in another month, I'm going to give you my recap and am I wrong, am I right about where these cards are going? But this one's up 13%. Now, yes, it's only been a week or two since Jumpstart Foundations came out. Being that this card actually went up kind of surprises me. As you see right here, though, it is just now starting to trickle down. The only thing that can keep these anime cards sky-high prices like this, and not all of them, just some of them, is the fact that when they reprint Foundations Jumpstart, which they will, there's going to be a lot, that they remove these anime versions of the card and replace it with a new version, a new art. Because right now, the anime art is the only choice you have. There's no foil version. There's no just regular non-anime art. It's this or nothing. That goes with this one as well. Not all of them going up. This one, 37%, but I mean, the dip's coming. I think it's just people that like, wow, I want that in my deck. Hype's real. I think that's what we're seeing right now. And again, a year from now, the only thing that's going to keep this card from hitting like $20, $15, $10 is that it's anime art version. That's it. If you want this card, that's the only version right here. And this one jumped the most, almost up 100%. I predicted that, but hey, there it is. There's a huge surge. This is right after I said these cards are going to tank, and they're going to tank hard. I still stick to that. This card's not going to be $48, even in a month. It's not going to be. It's probably going to be about $15, $20. This is the only time it's been printed. It's the very first of its kind. If you want it, $48 right now. Do not buy it at $48. This will drop drastically in price. I don't know when. I hope I'm wrong about that, but what are your guys' thoughts? Especially on these anime cards. Are they going to stay that high? Are we going to see a huge crash and burn? Will they reprint the anime art version when, more print waves come out? They got to do something with these collector boxes for Foundations as well. What are we going to see? What's going to happen? Let me know your thoughts and about any of these cards that I mentioned. If I'm missing something, please fill me in. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more content like this. It does mean a lot. That's why I continue to make videos like this, because I see you guys are enjoying them. Scudding. Have a good night.
Throw dust in the wind and leave my eyes wide open. That's what it feels like when I see this disaster. Fingers around, pointing in all directions, aimless yourself.